Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is Richard from WELSHYTECH, and today we are looking at the Sudokoo SK700V MACH. Now, should you buy this? Is it any good? Well, let's find out, shall we? Okay, so you're actually going to see videos what actually comes inside the box in terms of the accessories as well as the cooler itself. Now, as for the accessories, you do get a long Phillips screwdriver with a hex on the side. You do get an individual hex screwdriver as well. You do get an AM5 mount bracket, like a secure frame bracket. You do get the Intel bracket as well. You do get two different types of thermal paste. You get one for spreading, that does come with a little spatula, and then you do get a normal turbo thermal paste. And then of course you do get the actual documentation as well. And then of course you do see the actual cooler itself. This one's the black. They do have white as well, and obviously you're going to see the fan as well as that. Now, when it comes to the actual specs of this particular cooler, the actual product dimension is 146 by 103 by 164. The socket compatibility is Intel LGA 1851, 1700, 1200 and 1150X. Well, actually AM5. The net weight is 1470 grams. It does have 7 heat pipes, but they are 6mm in diameter. The fan dimension that comes with this is a 120 by 120 by 30mm. That's the thickness. The fan speed is between 500 and 3000 RPM. The actual airflow is 108 CFM. The fan air pressure is 7.31mm H2O with a fan decibel noise at 39.9 decibels. It is a 4-pin. It does have a hybrid hydraulic bearing. The fan is obviously a 12-volt DC, and when it comes to the actual display, it's a display module rated at 0.09 amps with the actual VDC at 5, and the power consumption is a 0.45 watts, and the actual area of the display is a 70 by 7 by 27.8 millimeters. Okay, so is this loud? Well, let's find out in this clip by here. So yes, it sounds like it does sound like a jet engine, okay? So it is loud, but that's where you're going to get the actual thermals and the performance there, because it's a very high static pressure fan and it's very, very good as well. Now, when it comes to the actual display itself, the software, the Mastercraft software from Sudokoo, it is a good software. It only primarily shows you like information on the CPU, the CPU, the GPU temperatures, the clock speeds, the fans, and of course they do have a hardware monitor as well. But then of course, if you do have other products as well, this software for the Sudokoo products is obviously compatible with that as well. But other than that, let's get into those glorious benchmarks. Okay, so when it comes to the actual test system, it is my AM5 platform. It's a Ryzen 9 7900. It does have 32 gigs of A-Pacer DDR5. It does have an X870A Wi-Fi motherboard from Sapphire. It does have a 2TB Gen 5 drive from Kingston, a 2TB Gen 4 from Samsung. It does have an RX 7800 XT, and it does have a 1200 watt NMAX Platinum power supply, and it is housed in the BeQuiet Chatterbase 800 FX case. Now, as for the actual benchmarking, it's the same run of tests I do for all AIOs as well as CPU coolers, Cinebench R23, Blender Pavilion, Blender Classroom, and 3D Mark CPU test. Why? Because it hits the CPU differently in each test. Now, for the Cinebench R23 at 50% fan speed, the idles are 33 with a max of 84. Blender Pavilion idles 33 with a max of 83. The Blender Classroom's an idle of 33 with a max of 83, and the 3D Mark CPU test, the idles were 33 with a max of 72 Celsius. Now, for the power draw, high was 173 watts with a low at 167 watts. The CPU clocks are high at 5.4 and low at 5 gigahertz. Now, for the 100% fan speed, the Cinebench R23, the idle did go up by 1 degree, but that's easily a margin of error, so it went to 34. The max temps were 82. Blender Pavilion, idles 34 with a max of 82. Blender Classroom, idles 34 with a max of 83. And 3D Mark Test, the idles of 34 with a max of 70 Celsius. Now, the CPU power draw had high 175 watts, and the low was also higher at 169 watts. Nice. And the clock speeds were also a little bit higher on the lows. The high was high at 5.4 and low at 5.1 gigahertz. So you aren't losing any performance there. So what you're going to see by here is how this particular cooler by here stacks up against other coolers on the market. Now, a few dual towers so you guys can get a rough idea of how this performs, because this does beat quite a few of the dual tower CPU coolers on the market. It does beat like the Noctua NHD15. It does also beat the Darkrock Pro 6 from Be Quiet. So it does beat some of the most premium brands on the market in terms of the thermals as well as for the CPU coolers. So make sure you continue to watch the actual thermals are going to show by here. Okay, so when it comes to the actual installation, now this doesn't to the traditional way of using the standoffs. Obviously this has a full like AM5 holder here, like a frame for the CPU itself. Now what I suggest you do is do this. Now take this up. Now this is where the most dangerous part is. Those pins are so fragile, you've got to be careful while you're handling them. So what I suggest you do is take the included Torx that it comes with, is undo these, the cover, keep that on for now, and I suggest putting that back in your motherboard box. Don't lose the cover because you'll need that for RMA. Lift it up. Now this, just close it like that, put it back in your motherboard box. Okay, so now get the CPU. No, this isn't the motherboard I use, this isn't the CPU I use, but this is for demonstration purposes only. It's just to show you how you actually install the bracket itself. So like that's CPU installed. So this is the bracket here. Now you can adjust this for different like offsets, that's up to you really, but I just used it in the standard way it comes. So you do get screws. Now what you want to do is, okay, as you can see here on the bracket, it's got 5, minus 5, minus 5. This is how you're going to put it in, just like this. So all you want to do is grab this now, put it down just like that, right? Okay, push it down a little. Now what you want to do is take the screws, okay, don't over tighten them, just go down to the point where they stop. Okay, this is just to keep it in position. Okay, now take the other screws, put these in here like that. Right, now go from this side here like this. Okay, don't over tighten. And that's that part done. Now let's get on to thermal paste. Now thermal paste, this does come with thermal paste, but this is the thermal paste I use for all AIOs, CPU coolers and so forth. This is the Thermal Grizzly Duranout. This is the stuff I use, so if you want to get similar results, then the link for that will be in the description. With the thermal paste done, now this is how the cooler comes with this installed. Now what I want you to do is remove the fan just like this on the side, like this, and it will just slide off the rails, and then take this part off here like this, like that. Okay, now what you want to do is place it down just like this on each side. You will see it or feel it hit the bracket itself like that. Okay, now it does come with a screwdriver, a very long one, so I suggest using this. Then to this side here. Okay, so okay. Okay, like that. Do it until it fully bottoms down. Okay, that's done. Now grab the cooler or the actual fan. As you can see, these rails on the side, all you do is you place the fan here on the rails and it will slide into position just like that. The cable for the PWM, which is actually by here, Okay, that is the head up there. Okay, the positioning of this will actually vary on motherboard to motherboard, but it's generally in the CPU area. So just put this into like a pigtail, go like this, like that, and go like that, and then plug that in there, like that. Okay. Now, for connecting the screen, the bottom of the motherboard does have USB 2 ports, right? These are USB 2. Now, what I want you to do is grab the cable that comes off the screen, which is this one by here. This is the USB 2 connector, like that, right? You'll have to route this around the back of your case, but you just put it like this, just like this. Done. As for the installation, that is pretty much it. Okay then, so what did you think of that? Now, first of all, I'm going to give you my overall impressions on the cooler. Now, first of all, the mechanism for the fan is very good and very well built. This is a very sturdy bracket for the fan itself. As you can see, it's got like a sliding mechanism here that just slides into position, which I will actually show you by here. It's rather straightforward. All you do is make sure it goes on the rails, and once it's done, just slides in, and that is it. You've got a PWM, and then you've just got the display cable there. Now, this is a massive single tower cooler. It's got 7 heat pipes. They are 6mm in diameter, which are pretty standard. The fan is a 3000 RPM fan, so that is up there with like the industrial fans from like Noctua, which are 3000 RPM. This thing is very loud. It's almost 40 decibels, and you can definitely hear that. But what I will say is that is where the cooling, the actual thermals and the cooling does help. This has a very high static pressure, and it's very, very loud, but it pushes a lot of air as well, which shown that inside the overall thermal benchmarks, this particular cooler for a single tower performed just as good or better than some dual towers on the market, which is quite outstanding for a single tower cooler. Even though technically I'd call it a dual tower, but because it's got one fan, it's classed as a single tower. But what I'm going to say now is about the price. Now, the pricing of this is £96.99 on Amazon. Now, me personally, I find that a little bit expensive, because you can get other coolers on the market that are much or significantly cheaper than this, that will get you around the same result. But what I will say, you do get the actual manufacturing quality out of this. The fan, the actual rail system for the fan, the display, the software is very good to use. The installation, especially for AM5, it comes with its own AM5 frame, which is quite cool, to be honest, and it does support Intel as well, so that's very good as well. That's why I think the actual thermals come in, because it comes with its own AM5 frame. It's got that potential of even doing better over time. So whether you agree or not, that's going to be completely up to you, but for the overall outstanding performance of this and how it looks, the overall quality, the installation and so forth, it gets a recommendation for me. Now, the pricing, that's really going to be up to you if you guys are looking for this particular cooler. But from people who I've actually spoken to have said about this, they have very highly recommended this, so I'm glad that I got it on the channel for you guys to actually see. So if you want to buy one, I will leave a link down below, because this is one of the best coolers I have reviewed so far. It isn't the best, but it's one of them. So yeah, a big thank you to Sudokoo. This collaboration is very welcome. I do like working with them. But as for future content, now make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I've got a gaming monitor from Acer. Still got that mini gaming PC. I've got another gaming monitor downstairs. I've got a massive full tower PC case from Inwin. This thing is humongous. It's going to fill up my desk, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. And as always, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend and week ahead of you. This is Rich for WELSHYTECH. Goodbye.